Good morning. Today we're going to be taking a look at the XRP price action and the Sigma coin. So XRP, we just flipped over into the 13th here, new candle printed, still green, and still at this point everything looks fine. So we have our, now note of course that this is a new candle, so these can change, but as of right now we're continually heading towards the 50-yard line. This will be our first attempt to crack through it here, and it looks like within the next few days we should actually start closing above it, which would take us out to the 15th, 16th, which is, rumor mill in crypto land is that the 15th will have a big impact on price action. So we'll see how that plays. Additionally, we still have a separation of this green line, as you can see through here. No separation all the way back through these regions like over here, but so far we're actually still diverging on that green line. And lastly, we're still above the 50-yard line on this guy, even though it looks like it's coming in for a back test. So so far so good. Momentum is on our side, and I am still long on this. So entry 185, and so here we are at 206. So we're still up in our position even though we had a pullback, because remember, this is a long swing trade, and the potential move to the upside should allow us to have quite a bit of fun and adventure. So yes, that's what we're basically watching at this point, and we know how quickly XRP can go when it does finally go. It takes about 25 days or so. So we'll be watching into that. Zooming in on the short time frames, nothing has changed. Our wave one has not been crossed at $1.96, so it's pretty boring, And now I'm looking at this structure right here, and I almost want to see it as a larger ABC. So I was kind of concerned that we may have had our first 5-wave impulse to the downside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is showing here. An ABC is obviously right here. This crap. So what is this? I've got 1, 2, and then maybe like a 3, 4, 5, and truncated maybe? Some kind of weird, like somebody is sitting right here and they just absorbed all of the price action, and it was going to break down, but it didn't. So I might even call this like a larger, instead of it being like a 5-wave move to the downside, for this portion here. I don't even know what I'm going to try to draw here, but anyway, but I'm now thinking this is maybe moved to a ABC, right? So we might have our 5 and then a 3 and then a 5 that comes in truncated, possibly, right? So far the indicator is telling us that that's the way. If this is a larger correction, then that could still be in the cards, so we'll be watching that move. So if this is in fact a 5-way move to the upside, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this will be our 5th, moving us up here, right? That's one option. Alternatively, if this was just an ABC up, where we just do an A, B, C, then this would be a 5-wave move to the downside next. But the good news is, even in this circumstance with the 5 waves, if we end up doing that as a 5-wave, this would be a retrace, and then we would continue down here like that. So regardless, coming up to 228 is probably the likely event that's going to play out here. So we have that, but so far nothing broken on XRP's short-term timeframes. Then zooming out on this whole thing, we've been following this schematic right here, where we had our PSY, our BCLX, and then we had our AR down, ST up, and then support all the way through here. Resistance was up here at the top of the line. We hit the resistance, ended up creaking all the way down to a higher low through this level right here. And then we're going to jump across the creek is our next phase, right? So this just shows us going straight up. Well, this new guy right here, we had mentioned briefly on a prior video, but this is the same setup here again with the same creek that comes through the whole thing. But now this guy has a large test involved, right? So you have this breakout, which we end up having right here. We clear the prior breakdown. So there's your prior breakdown. We clear it. We come back into mid-range on that breakdown, kind of into this zone right here, and then that should give us the jump across the creek. So that's kind of where my base case is right now, that this is just a test for this component right here, and then we're going to continue onward, because what we're doing is we're looking as to why we're basically fitting in structures on top of the momentum indicator, which is telling us up is the way. So as of right now, we could very well be up here in this region in the $3 to $4 range, maybe even $4.50 by the very quick window here, and then do an ABC on top of that range before continuing on. So this test has been only since the 6th, so we're looking at a week or so. So if this is the completion of that test in this week, we would be within 2 weeks or so, probably easily up at the top of the range. And as we know, again, XRP likes to go quickly when it does go. So So yeah, so we'll be continuing to monitor that. But as of right now, this is my thoughts on what structure we're in right now, with a large flat, which is also known as this reaccumulation mid-range schematic for Wyckoff, and this is the test zone is how I'm interpreting this right now. So, all right, jumping over to Sigma, we've got green. So Sigma's been able to take back this region right here. We are close to getting up above this level right here. And we have what appears to be a very obvious trend change here on the 12-hour. So volume starting to step in. We're seeing the momentum move to the upside, and I really want to see us clear through this the 750K market cap, that region that we're doing. And with that, we should be able to start having some good, fun times. Obviously, there'll be retests along the way, but this is already beginning our journey. And remember, if we just get from our current price back up to the 618, you're looking at a 417% return, which is incredible, right? So keep that in mind as you look here at the Sigma coin and its price action. So, all right, that's what we have for this morning, and we will check in here, but so far so good. So Sigma's looking like it's working its way out of here. We've got ourselves the larger Wyckoff accumulation with a test is what it appears that we're working through. And then we have this test showing as strength here on this region. And then finally, we have the indicator still indicating per Nathan Ma. So, all right, guys, we'll check in tomorrow, and thanks so much for watching.